OK，大家好。首先非常欢迎大家参加我们的这个课程。然后今天的这个课程开始之前呢，我首先打算花10到15分钟的时间，做一个汉藏语和印欧语系历史音变的一种类型学的比较typological comparison between Sino-Tibetan and Indo-European languages。然后你在这边可以看到那个向柏林老师的课程讲义，他列举了几个动词的现在时、过去时、未来时和命令时这4个形式，对吧？这也是我们查那个藏语字典的时候一般会遇到的这4个比较常用的形式。好，那就向老师在这个课当中提到了几个重要的或者是看起来比较奇怪的现象，就是音变，然后他就是在整合这个历史语法的过程当中用到了一些汉藏语的音变问题。好，那我们首先来看几点，因为我事实上把它总结了，所以大家也不用从头到尾都看，就是我反正就是大家课后可以自己看了。我的意思是说，现在我不用给大家完全从头到尾看，就是我就总结了一下。大家先看这个词，这个音变是比较常见的音变，就是说现在时它会在开头插入一个 on 对，然后呢这个词干大家可以看到或者词根啦，这边有个插，对不对？然后呢，但是呢，它在插入这个现在时的 in 这个词干之后，sorry，那个 prefix 词缀之后呢，中间还会加一个 t，放大一点了。好呀，好呀，我来放大一点。OK，嗯，可以看到吗？现在好一点吗？现在好一点吗？现在可以吗？我试试看能不能再放大一点。OK，好。就是他们在构拟可以看清楚了吗？This is better。OK，好，嗯，所以大家可以看到的一种情况是什么呢？就是当你插入一个 in 之后，就是当你出现一个 in，然后和一个 ch 这个音在一起的时候，然后它会出现一个 t 在这里。好，那这样的音变呢，其实我们在英欧语当中，sorry。就这样的音变，其实我们在英欧语当中也是有的。英欧语当中呢，当你如果把一个鼻音 in 加上一个 s，就当 s 和 ch 是不一样的音啊。就是我说了，我今天做的只是一个typological comparison，就显然这2个语言是不能够进行对等的或者是对比的。那我实际上只是告诉大家一种类型学的一种问题。就是说鼻音加上一个嘶音，然后中间会加上一个 t，然后这个音变是在印欧语当中普遍存在的。那我今天举的例子呢，就是我们可以参考吐火罗语的情况。那吐火罗语的情况的话，我给大家看一个就是我们之前吐火罗语语法课讲过的内容，就是大家看名词变化当中。名词变化当中，其实我可以 generalize 更加 generalize，就是说在吐火罗语当中是存在那个 resonant，再加上一个 s，它会出现一个 resonant，再加一个 in，sorry，再加一个 t，sorry，再加一个 s 这样的音变，所以大家可以看到，比如说这个词，这个词叫那个年，对不对？我们之前讲过叫 piku，然后它在构成那个 petative 的时候是变成 piku 擦，对，所以这里相当于发生的变化是 piku 擦，对吧？所以这个 t 就是插进去的。对，今天的确人有点多，他们是来听赫梯语的。然后我之前做了一些调整，然后如果有朋友方便的话，可以在聊天框里打一下，告诉大家发生了什么事情。就是我会正常开始赫梯语课的，不用担心。就是我现在讲的只不过是一个提前的插曲。因为今天看到一个汉藏语系的那个课，就是讲历史音变的，所以我很想做一个比较，就是把汉藏语的那个历史音变和印欧语进行一个比较，类型学的比较。OK，好，这是一种情况，对不对？就是在吐火罗语当中，和 s 合在一起的时候会中间插入一个 t。好，其他呢还有，我们可以继续往下看。在那个第三组，我看一下是第三组还是第四类？第四类不是啊，那个第五类，第五类动词的话，不，sorry，第五类名词，第五类名词的话，之前跟大家说过，就是它的特点是什么呢？它的主格和宾格形式是不一样的，这个和第一类和第三，这个是和第一类到第三类的名词是不一样的。就第五类名词，它在主格和宾格的形式会发生变化，就 enquen 这个。你这个m 下面加个点的话，我们叫 anusvaha， 然后这个在吐火罗语当中，它的音值是一个 n， 对吧？这我们也是之前有说过的。好，那这个词大家可以看它的那个appellative 到底是什么情况 ？appellative 叫 enquenza， 对吧？好，所以这个大家也可以看到，我之前跟大家说过 appellative 就是 appellative 是那个secondary case， 对吧？secondary case 的话，我们一般是用它的accusative 再加上secondary ending，right？它的accusative 是那个 enquen， 对吧？然后再加一个 sa， 所以同样在中间你也是要插入一个 t 的。所以说类似这种在 resonant 和 s 中间需要插一个鼻音这种情况，sorry 齿音 dental 这种情况呢，在吐火罗语当中是很常见的。在其他语言也是，在其他印欧语当中也是有的。好，这个是一点。那还有一点的话，需要给大家解释一下的，就是说啊，就是向老师在这边也提到了，就是为什么看这个词，那个 tar 和那个听这个词 nia， 他们按照逻辑上来讲都是要前插入一个鼻音，对不对？但是呢，为什么在这里没有了？就这里就直接是一个 tar， 这里直接是 nia。就是没有那个鼻音在这里，这是为什么？那其实有一种很简单的情况的话，我们是可以理解的，就是这种情况，就那这个情况，听这个词，听这个词它的就是一个鼻音，对不对？所以所以大家想象一下这个这个符号，我不确定自己打不打得出来啊。那个我如果打不出来的话，大家不要太介意。就是这个符号，大家想象一下，它是一个鼻音，对不对？所以鼻音和鼻音碰在一起，是会变成同化，然后消失或者丢掉，对不对？这是可以 make sense。那为什么 L 还能这样？因为 L 的话，理论上讲，我们一般认为 L 的话，它和那个 in 是不太一样的，对吧？那为什么会出现这种情况呢？就是你当然可以说它们都是resonant， 对不对？好，其实还有一种类比的情况，就是说啊，这种现象就是 in 和 l 密切关系，或者是说可以互换或者交换，就不是互换，就是会发生置换的这种情况，在印欧语当中也是出现的。那我举的一个例子就是，在大家可以看印欧语，就是梵语当中，或者英语当中，大家肯定都知道那个名字 name， 对吧？梵语叫 naman， 对不对？好。那我们现在就可以提到一个跟我们这次主体课程相关的了。大家看一下赫梯语的那个名字叫什么？赫梯语的名字大家看一下，Sanskrit，Naman，或者你也可以参考那个English，right？So English name， 所以知道它开头肯定是个 in， 对不对？好，那 Hittite 情况是什么呢？叫 Laman。所以这是一个非常有意思的现象，就是说啊，它事实上是存在一种dissimulation， 就是说，原本我们认为啊 ，m 和 n 都是鼻音嘛，这是可以理解的，对不对？但是呢，在赫梯语当中，它会把这个鼻音变成 l， 就相当于发生 dissimulation， 就是发生什么变化呢？就是 m-n 它会发生这样的一种变化。所以说从这一点，大家至少可以看出来 ，n 和 l 在印欧语当中，它也是怎么讲呢？可能是类似的一种音嘛。OK， 好，这个讲完了之后，我可以再给大家讲一个另外的问题。另外的问题就是可能听起来会稍微有点 奇怪，或者可能有一些朋友也知道，就是向老师在后面讲到未来时和过去时的时候，我调到后面，我看看到底在哪里？就是他们，
然后呢，
稍微等一下。
那么这个着彩音可能就发生了一些关系进行比较。那这种情
大家稍微等一下，我要找到快到了，wait a minute。
如果是变音的话，这个跟音本来就没。
你还没看吗？OK， 没事。Anyway， 好 ，OK， 哎，等会儿，到了，等一下啊。
这个问题已经解决了
就是说啊，他们发现那个等会儿我很想把那页跳出来给大家看一看。
舌根音
OK， 好，就是说这里，如果我们认为在未来时的时候，它前面加的很卡吗？很卡吗？我要停一下吗？那我继续讲 ，OK， 没事，那个实在太卡的话，也可以看稍后的那个录播 ，OK， 就是我们在看那个未来时的时候，它事实上，我们一般认为啊，那肯定是前缀是同样的，对不对？就现在时的前缀是一个然后未来时的话，按理说我们根据这个重构的话，期待它也是同样的词前缀，对不对？但是呢，非常奇怪的是，为什么有的是 D， 有的是 G？ 那向老师的解释是这样的，就是说啊，当你出现两个 D 的时候，它会发生 dissimilation， 会变成这样。然后呢，当你出现两个 G 的时候两个 G 的时候也会发生dissimilation， 对。所以说理论上讲你是不能够我应该怎么写？这样子sorry， 就是它总是会发生 dissimilation， 就是说你不能够让你不能让这两个音相同的出现在一起，对吧？好，所以说这就牵扯到一个D 和 G 这两个音之间的关系。可以省略一个音吗？省略什么音？就是他认为前缀就是一个辅音嘛，前缀就是一个辅音，然后和词根拼在一起，就没有什么音省略。对 ，OK，那我现在想讲的问题就是说大家看到了这两类音其实是非常不一样的两类音，对不对？那个 D 的话是典型的 dental， 对不对？G 的话是典型的 bela， 这两个发音部位肯定是不一样的，对不对 ？OK， 一个是齿音，一个是腭音，对吧？好，那这两个音之间能够发生互换的情况呢？其实，在印欧语当中也是有的。那个非常典型的就是拉丁语当中的例子。我举一个拉丁语当中一个词缀的例子，就是在拉丁语当中，如果wait a minute， 就是我们如果看那个Michael Weiss 的那个语法书，我们把那个 Michael Weiss 的那个语法书调出来wait a minute。Michael Weiss 的语法书，我们看那个在第318页，然后我之前做了一个标记。不好意思，我可能讲的有点快，但是我本身这个是一个额外加进去的内容，所以我不想挤占那个赫梯语的内容，所以大家如果不感兴趣的话，可以待会儿跳过去，没关系。OK， 大家可以看到，就是在英语当中有一个非常常见的表示 instrument 的名词，给大家看一下，这是一个非常常见的后缀，这个后缀呢叫 tlo， 但是 tlo 大家看到 t 是一个齿音，对不对 ？dental， 但是呢，在拉丁语当中它会变成 claw， 然后所以拉丁语当中那个 care 这样结尾的词，结尾的 care 这样就是 care，cre 或者是cre 这样结尾的词，事实上本质上是和梵语当中的那个 tada 这种结尾是同源的，然后都是来自一个 tado 这样的一个词缀，然后这个 tado 这个词缀的气的话会变成，就是它的齿音会变成腭音，在拉丁语当中 ，OK。OK，好吧，反正大概就是这样。OK，那这个东西讲完了，稍微超了一点时间，那我们正式开始那个赫梯语的课。你觉得我需要用英语讲吗？那个 Saya 类，你觉得我需要用英语讲吗？好吧 ，Anyway，反正我2个语言也可以都用，没关系。OK，好，这个是大致的讲完了。那其实还有一个问题，但是我看时间，我实在是不想耽误大家太多时间。就是还有一个问题，就是在将来时的时候，藏语它会发生词干的元音变化。然后这个的话，大家在向老师的那个课开始的时候就可以发现，就是在
违反了音系的规则。
就是在藏语的那个命令式，
因为
命令式它的那个词干元音会发生变化。然后有些人认为这是一种那个 umlaut，有些人认为是一种umlaut，就相当于原来的那个词干元音，我就随便这样写一下，就比如说这是一个词干，然后呢这个词干在那个命令时的时候 imperative 它会变成这样的一种形式，就它会发生词干元音的变化。那有些人的解释呢是这样解释的，就是说啊，它原来是加了一个 o 的尾音，然后这个尾音呢可能是代表一种我不知道怎么解释小品词什么之类的，然后这个小品词会影响到前面的这个元音，然后这种现象呢我们叫语言学上叫 umlaut。那这种情况呢是very popular in Tokaran，it's quite popular in Tokaran。OK， 好。行，那我们就正式开始那个 Hittite 课，然后非常感谢大家那个的关注，然后有这么多朋友来参加我们的这个课。好，我看一下。Okay, so let's start our Hittite class. Yeah. 还是吃个润喉糖吧。OK， 吃个润喉糖。OK， 那个赫梯语课，我看一看啊，我稍微准备了一个大致的outline，然后这个 outline 的话是怎么讲呢，比较简略，然后主要是帮助我那个讲课用的。OK，so English is needed. Okay, so I actually made a very brief. So actually I made a very brief outline for our class. This is actually too simple, and I just use it to help myself to follow the logic of the teaching. Yeah. Okay, so you find some Chinese here, but I will explain it, so don't worry. Yeah. So I make it a little bit bigger. Yeah. So probably I just 波数二象性. Okay. So probably at the very beginning, I just say something very briefly about the importance of Hittite linguistics for the understanding of 你没有声音吗？你没有声音的话，你可能需要开一下自己的话筒。左下方你们可以有人提醒他一下，就是需要开一下自己的那个话筒或者是什么之类的。 Okay, so as I said, quite general remark about the importance for understanding the Indo-European languages. Yeah. So first of all, as I have already talked about in one of our Greek classes, that actually if we check the maps, well, there are some interesting maps, right? So this is actually one of the map I used for the background information of Troy and Ilion or Iliad. So this is actually the famous Greek epos, Greek epic, Iliad. So we find a lot of kind of non-Greek elements in this Greek epic, and we know at the time of, so during the time of the Trojan War, it's about 12th century before BC, yeah, right? So there's a kind of intense contact between the Greek culture, or to be specific, at that time, Mycenaean culture, and the Anatolian culture. And among the Anatolians, the Luvians are probably most important, or one of the most important. And actually, you can see Troy or Ilion was at that time under the influence of Luvians. Yeah. And we also discussed about the how to say that, the linguistic and also phrases shared by the Greek epic and the Anatolian, Hittite, and the Luvian languages, right? Okay, so basically, even for classists, for the Greek students, if you study classics, to know a little bit about the Anatolian culture, the Hittite or the Luvian, it's very helpful. It's very helpful. Okay, and then probably let's talk about something about Indo-European linguistics itself. So actually, if we learn Hittite, it will help us understand the historical development of the ancient Indo-European languages. For example, so this goes back actually to the root of our discipline. So how did the Indo-European languages develop? So they are actually at the so at the very beginning, we have a theory, and this theory was so powerful and influential that it is still used and generally accepted in our today's discipline studies, yeah, scholarship. So it's called Stammbaumtheorie. So according to this theory, we actually find, I think something, I think I should show you something about the kind of family tree of, wait a minute, I show you a picture, it's better, yeah. It's better, picture are always better than words, yeah. Okay, so this is basically the model of our Indo-European linguistics until now. So this is a book published in 2017 by Donald Ringe. He's a famous professor in University of Pennsylvania. Okay, so this is basically the model of our discipline. So first we have a PIE, and then from PIE comes Anatolian, and then from actually after the split, we have Anatolian and nuclear IE. And this nuclear IE further developed into Tocharian and core IE. Well, nuclear and core, I mean, I think for me at least, they are actually synonyms. They have similar meaning, right? Okay, and then from core IE, we have Italo-Celtic and central IE. In central IE, we have, of course, Sanskrit, Greek, and so on. Yeah, Slavic, Baltic, and so on. Yeah. Okay. Yes. If you really want to distinguish, well, this one is called He, right? Yeah, 核心的 He. And this one is called 中心, right? And this is called 中央, probably. But I'm not sure. My Chinese, I'm not familiar with Chinese translation. Yeah. Okay. So this is basically the model. Okay. And after the discovery of Hittite, well, actually, before the discovery of Hittite, someone called Johannes Schmidt already suggested that the Stammbau theory might not be the truth. But what is the truth? What is really the truth? Nobody would know, because it's about 5,000 years ago, or even more ancient, right? He talked about the way Velen theory. So Velen theory, I think we can probably check the Wikipedia. You can find it. Yeah, I think you have you can see the picture, right? So according to him, there are actually several groups of language families. So actually, they kind of interact with each other, and the so-called innovations can be shared during the interaction. So this is actually called Velen theory, so wave theory. And then there's another theory called language acquisition. Yeah. So it says that, well, the Hittite, because the Hittite is so different, we'll talk about it later. So today we are going to actually have a brief review of the special grammatical points, grammatical features of the Hittite and or Anatolian languages in general. And you will see it's so different. And sometimes it cannot be, how to say that, united with other, the so-called central IE. Well, central IE, the structure of central IE was actually, again, I can put it here. So actually central IE, the structure of central IE, we usually from Sanskrit and Greek. So this is basically the information we get to reconstruct the central IE. Yeah. Okay. Sprachbund, yes, that's great. Yeah, so it's kind of how to say, a community. They influence each other. So this is kind of the Sprachbund. Yeah. Okay, and then so I just talk very briefly that studying Hittite and Anatolian languages can help us understand the Greek cultures. I mean, not only Greek cultures, but also other, of course, the Babylonian, the Sumerian, and also other cultures, right? But inside the Indo-European languages, it's especially important for understanding some aspects of the ancient Greek culture. And then for the development of Indo-European languages, it's also very useful. Okay, and then let's move on to the main body of our lecture today. So at the first, if we want to study Hittite and Anatolian linguistics, there are actually a lot of books, a lot of articles to consult. So here, there are 3 or 4 most important things. The first one is called Systematic Bibliography of the Hittitology. So from 1915 to 1995. And I guess you already have the PDF file. So this look like this one. So this is a cover, Systematic Bibliography of the Hittitology. it's about 1,100 pages only for bibliography during the 80 years. Yeah. And there are 3 volumes. And for the first volume, you find very general information and also the important encyclopedia, which I'm going to talk about later. Yeah. And then about archaeology and anthropology and so on, right? And and of course the script, which is quite important because there are actually different scripts used for the Anatolian languages. And for Hittite, the so-called Keilschrift, or in English is cuneiform, right? Okay. But for Luwian, they are actually hieroglyphic. So it's 圣书体, right? Or 象形文字. Okay. So hieroglyph, yeah. And the second volume, it's about the language and the philology, the texts, right? So we will also check these languages, right? So Hittite and Luwian are 2 dominant, or not really dominant, but kind of prominent parts of Anatolian languages. But we still have other minor languages called Ludish or Lukish or Lucian or Lydian, right? Okay. And then you have like dictionaries and study of words and so on and so on. Okay. And also other, yeah, you can see there's also Palaic and other languages. So this is volume 2. And volume 3, you can see it's about history, yeah, historical study and so on. So as you can see, this is only bibliography. So you can see there are a lot of to read, right? To check. So this is finished, and then the next one is called bibliography for the Indo-European world studies. So this is edited by Heidemans, and I also mentioned this before. So about, but this is not only this is not just for Hittite, but for the Indo-European languages. So you have like Greek, Sanskrit, and so on, right? Okay, and then I think the most important, the most updated one is called Heterology Portal Minds. So let's check this. So you find this website is called Hittite Bibliography. It's made by Universität Napoli and Mainz. So here you just search for kind of, here you can search for year and person. So let's just check one person. So she's actually one of the most important Hittitology scholar, Hittite scholar in Germany. Her name is Elisabeth Rieken, and she's actually a professor in University of Marburg. And University of Marburg has actually a long tradition of Hittite studies. And she actually published a very good textbook called Einführung in die Hethitische Sprache und Schrift, which I already sent it to you. And we're going to check the textbook later. Okay. And then there's also another one, but this is in academia. You can check this person. His Japanese name is called 北柱智树, like 北柱智树. I think, yeah, like, but you just search Tomoki in academia, and academia.edu, and you will find his page, and he will update. He updates the bibliography. Wait a minute. Probably not here. but you can check his page. Okay, and then probably let's move on to the texts. So what kind of texts can we read or can we use? So again, we need to check the website. This is actually still this website. Wait a minute. Yes, so this is the website we always need to use for the Hittite studies. So the Hittite texts are actually edited under a category called CTH. So this is actually German. It's called Catalog der Texte der Hittite, yeah, or Catalog of the Hittite texts, right? So they are kind of listed according numerically, right? So the first one is called Anita Text. So this is actually one of the most important texts and also one of the oldest Hittite text. It's about the chronicles, I think, about the, it's actually history. Okay, so this is actually ordered according to the content. So you can see this is a historical text. So you find first Anita, so this is a person. And you also have annals. Wait a minute. And then you have kind of Feldzug, so it's kind of a battle against another one, Aleppo. I'm not sure, he's probably an Egyptian king. I'm not sure, yeah, but you can check it. And then also battle, fight against the hooligan, as a kind of another hooligan. It's not here, but it's another people in this region, right? Okay, so this is basically the historical text. And then we have großreiches zeitliche Texte, so kind of contract. So there was already kind of letters and also a contract and Erlass kind of documents prescribing something, right? Okay, so there are a lot of Vertrag, a lot of contracts between different emperors, different kings, something like that. Okay, and then this is quite numerous, and also there are a lot of contracts you can see. Vertrag, a lot of contracts, right? Okay, and then briefs, briefe, letters, yeah. So letters between Egyptian and Hittite kingdoms, yeah. So this is the pharaoh, so he write a letter to Tahun Daradu from Arzawa. So this Arzawa is actually so Arzawa is actually this area. So Arzawa area is actually the Luvian area, and Troy is actually part of this area. Okay, so you find a correspondence between Egyptians and the Hittite. Yeah. Okay. So brief, and so on. Ramesses II, Ramesses II, yeah, and so on. Yeah. So it looks like Ramesses II has had a very close connection with the Hittite kingdom, right? Okay. Okay, and there's also a Heiratsbrief, so kind of a marriage letter, yeah. So kind of interesting, right? And then there's also royal letters, yeah. Königsbrief, yeah. Okay, and so on and so on. Okay, and there are a lot of demonstrative and kind of technical texts, yeah, like land Schenkung. So he offered some land to another person. I think he's another lord, another emperor, right? Okay. And Bestandsaufnahmen, kind of list of persons, list of men, and so on. Yeah, kind of Kauf list, so shopping list. Yeah. It's not really shopping, right? Okay. Okay, and then we have a lot of. We also have laws, right? Kaufliste, yeah, shopping list. Yeah. I think it's not shopping list in our sense, yeah. Okay, so this is laws, die Gesetze, right? Yeah, okay. So if a man, blah, 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 did something and so on and so on, so it's kind of laws. And also the Gerichtsprotocol, so kind of during a lawsuit, during a court, so they just noted down the procedures or noted down the scenes, what happened, and so on. Yeah. So Gerichtsprotocol. Yeah. Okay. And then there's also lexikalische Listen. So kind of Zeichenliste. So you can see even for the Hittites, it is really difficult to remember all the symbols, right? So they themselves had a Zeichenliste. So it's just like in the Sanskrit manuscript, in the Sanskrit manuscripts, like in Tocharian area, you also find manuscripts with Brahmi characters, Brahmi syllables, yeah. So there are also students who practice writing these complicated syllables, symbols, right? Okay. Übersetzungsliteratur. Okay, and then finally to the mythology. So this is probably for the general public, also very interesting. It's about mythology. So one of the interesting or most important is the so-called Iruyanka mythos. So Iruyanka is actually a serpent, as you can probably see. So it's not here. Okay, so this is, I think I talked about, I mentioned this before. So this is this mythology. So it's about killing the dragon. Yeah. So kind of a Luvian god. He kills the dragon. Yeah. A Hittite god. Yeah. Okay, the sky god. Yeah, the sky god. Yeah. Okay. And this motif or this theme is actually quite famous. Sorry, where is this? Yeah, okay, here. So this is kind of a very. So this is actually a Proto-Indo-European motive. No, what is the English word for German motif? It's kind of theme, right? So the Proto-Indo-European mythology, mythological theme or topic or story. It's about kill the dragon. So how to kill the dragon? Yeah. So this is actually one of the most important myths in the Proto-Indo-European community. Yeah. Okay. And then it's called Iruyanka. And this Iruyanka is actually a compound, but I'm not going to analyze here. So it's actually probably, so Iruyanka. actually has two parts. The first part is probably connected with the English word eel. 就是水就鳗鱼或者是电鳗或者是 eel， 我有没有写错啊？我确定一下 ，eel 是这么写的吧？就鳗鱼，就是鳗鱼它原来可能跟蛇这种细细长长的这种动物嘛，就是伊鲁扬卡这个 eel 可能是和鳗鱼这个 eel 是同源的，然后 anka 是和那个英语的和那个梵语的那个 ahis 是同源的，反正它就是细细长长的。蛇啊、龙啊这样的动物，对 ，OK， and then you can you see there's a lot of mythology and also mythology of foreign elements. Like there's also a Hittite version of Gilgamesh, yeah, and Gilgamesh, you know, that's it's Akkadian. It's not a old Babylonian. It's not a Hittite mythology, right? Okay, and so on. So this is based, and also hymn and gebeta, how to put it into English, 就是祷告啊，祈求 prayer, yeah, okay. Yes, hymns and so on, yeah, and also ritual text and so on. So you can see the content of the Hittite literature is actually very colorful. There are so many different kinds of texts preserved in the Hittite corpus. And you can see I haven't moved, this is not the end. There are a lot of other texts, yeah. So it's about 1,000 and so on, yes. I think it's not finished, yeah. Okay, so let's probably move back to the first one, the Anita text, the one of the most important. So if I click here, it comes immediately this page. So for this page, it is very useful. So you see there are several copies of this text. So copy C and copy B and copy D and copy A. So basically 4 different copies. And for the copy A, you can check so many literatures. There are so many studies on this one single copy. And for this one, let's click this camera sign. Click this one, and you jump to the image, the picture, the photo of the tablets, right? So if I click this one, and wait a minute. Okay, and then you have the text, right? And I think we can make it a little bit bigger, like I think not sure how can I make it bigger. Okay, it's fine, yeah. But you can find very detailed. Yeah, the picture is. Okay. That's great. Yeah, yeah. We actually have specialists for the Assyrian studies here. So yeah, that's pretty. Well, this tablet is actually not very well preserved. You can see there's also some damage here, and here is also broken and so on. Okay, so this is the original picture, and I guess it's actually difficult for most of us to read the original tablet, but don't worry, there's also this one. So this is kind of Abschrift. The drawing, probably a drawing, 就是他们摹写了一下。So this is actually, yeah, we can actually use this version, right? But where we can actually compare, I can show you actually. Oh, 这样 okay. So we can actually check. So we can actually compare. So this is actually the sorry. This is actually the first part. You find it here. The first line is actually is on the top. So there are actually four. For this first column, there are actually 4 lines, right? So this is the first line, second line, third line, fourth line. Okay, so we can actually compare a little bit. I'm not going to really read the cuneiform. It's a little bit. It takes a lot of time. I have to admit. Yeah. Okay. So you can see it's basically it looks similar, right? So so let's check this line, the third line. So this is the third line. I hope you can. So this is basically this. Yes, this is more difficult than Tocharian. I have to admit, yeah. 我觉得这东西比吐火罗语难看多了，就是但可能专家们就是看多了之后也就好了。就是我反正觉得目前为止我是还是更喜欢看婆罗米字体的，这个是真的不行。但我只给大家看一看，就是他们不是乱转写的，他们真的是可以写出来的。那就是大家看好了，这个形状和这个形状是很像的，对不对 ？Right？ OK， 然后这边往左边戳了2个，就是箭头往左，对不对？箭头往左，箭头往左。好，然后这边相当于有2个往下的，对不对？往下的，就这个是2个往下的，然后这个是2个往右的，对，就是它主要是大家可以看到方向的话，大概就是往右、往下，或者是往斜下，或者是往斜上，大概是这样，有好几种类型。但我真的不是专门研究这个的，所以也不是很了解那个具体如何去辨认，或者是有什么窍门嘛什么之类的。OK， 反正很好的就是我们读的文本基本上都已经转好了，转写好了。So it's actually， 这个已经写得很漂亮了。OK， 这可能是早期他们还是比较注重的啊。OK， 对 ，OK， OK， OK， so it's pretty lucky that we have so this is the image, this is the picture, right? And we are very lucky that we have already bilingual form, right? So this is actually the transliteration, so it's pretty good, right? So you can just read it. Anita Dumu. So I just read the letters, yeah, and I will explain it later, yeah. So there's something needs explaining here. So kind of Anita, Adumu, Pitta, Hana, Lugar, you know, and then this is Ulu, Kushara, and Kibima, and so on. So this is a translation. So Anita, this is a name, a person. So he's a son of Pitana, and he's a king of Kusara, and he speaks. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yes. So basically, for the Indo-European linguists, we just use this transliteration, and with the translation, we don't really need to read the original cuneiform tablets, yeah, because this kind of division of a job or division of work， 就我觉得这个是分工的问题嘛，就是做那个亚述或者是专门研究怎么讲呢，就是2河流域文明也好，或者是赫体文明的也好，他们已经第一步帮我们做好了，然后下面一步的工作就是印欧语言学家来做的，然后我们今天会看一下这个印欧语言学家做的内容。OK。Okay, so let's move on. I think you you basically have a general idea of the original cuneiform texts, and also some background information of the Hittite literature, right? And then let's move on to the grammar part. So let's talk about the Hittite grammar. But I'm not actually going to. So first, let's just check the text, not the linguistic. So we have already seen this part, right? So you can see there are basically 3 different forms, right? So this is one kind. So this so this is kind of a normal script, right? But this one is capital letter, so 就都是大写的，对吧？就是我们这里大概有3种，一种是正常的感觉像这个德语一样，对不对？还有一种是完全大写 ，OK， 还有一种呢是大写但做上标，还有呢是大写但斜体，这几种都是有固定含义的。我们待会儿稍后就是第2部分的时候我会谈。那第1部分呢，我主要是谈语言学的内容，然后第2部分呢会谈一些就是周边的问题，因为这个涉及到那个阿卡德语啊，还有苏美尔语。So it's kind of for this we need to explain the how to say that the research about Sumerian and 不错不错，就是你如果是研究两河的话，这些你肯定都认识的，这个是应该都是最常见的一些词，对吧？这个就比较常用的，经常出现的。OK， 好，不错不错，已经很好。We will talk about later, yeah. And for the time being, let's talk about the Hittite grammar. So for the Hittite grammar, there are actually 2 or 3 things we need to mention. So first one, it's about phonology, or probably also orthography, yeah, orthography or the script, something like that. Not really read the script, but how to say that the writing system, yeah, the writing system of Hittite. So for the writing system of Hittite, there's a very important law you have to keep in mind. It's called Sturtevant's law. So this is something you need to keep in mind if you study Hittite linguistics. So this is quite important. So I highlight it. So what is the Sturtevant law? So we can actually check the grammar. This is a grammar I really use for the explanation. This is something you find. Wait a minute. Which page? Okay. So it's called Sturtevant law, right? Yeah. Okay. I put it here. I think it's big enough, right? Okay. So what is the Sturtevant law? It tells us, well, this is the transliteration, 就是转字，就是把每一个符号，有一个固定的转写方式，这个就是，然后每一个符号中间呢，它用这个短横隔开来，所以这就是一个一个符号，对吧？就省得我们再去读那个楔形文字，对不对？好，那这个如果是这样的写法，就我先用中文讲一遍。So I first explain Chinese, so it's probably a little bit not familiar for some of you. So I first put in Chinese. 就这个定律是什么意思呢？就是他们在书写单词的时候，它呢如果双写辅音，那表示呢这个辅音是一个清辅音，记好了。So geminated consonants means it's voiceless consonants. So for example, this one is called up pa. So this up pa with double p, it corresponds Greek apple. So with a p, right? And then you have like apuweni. So you have double P. It means that it is P, voiceless. And it corresponds to Sanskrit apnoti. I think some of you probably know this root. It means obtain, right? But if you just write single consonant like this, atta anzi, right? Or atta anzi. So there's actually no distinction between t and d. So actually you can use both ways to transcribe, to transliterate. But the difference is how many times you write. 就是这个符号，就大家看好了，这个符号你可以转写成 t， 也可以转写成 d， 这个是无所谓的。但是呢，我怎么知道它是一个送气？我怎么知道它是一个清音还是浊音呢？就看它到底是双写还是单写。就如果是双写，那它就是一个清音；如果是单写，然后不管你是写成 t 还是 d， 那它都是浊音。所以就是这个就是你可以说是这个楔形文字的一种不太精确的办法。那它也有办法精确，它就只是单写就行了，只要单写，它都是浊音。OK， 这个能明白吗？我觉得这个应该大家能明白吧 ？OK， 好，那我继续讲。OK， 好 ，So if you just write it once, it is voiced. Yeah. So simple consonants. It's it's voiced. Yeah. So this is basically the Sturtevant's law. There are actually some exceptions or some special cases, but for the time being, you just need to know this. Yeah. So geminated consonants, if you write it twice, it's voiceless. If you write it only once, it's voiced. Yeah, okay. And then there's another important thing. It's called double. It's only two genus. What is the English name for genus? Yeah. 就只有两种性别. Gender. Sorry, gender. So another thing. So this is the first thing you need to keep in mind, right? And the second thing, the gender system. So for the gender system, I think some of you probably have already know. So let's check this one. Yes, there are only two genders. Which two? Let's check it. Yeah. Okay. So we need to. We can use this grammar, and I'm going to talk about the textbooks later. Yeah. So so first, let's check this one. Yeah. So you find it here. Check it. Yeah. This is keep it in mind. There are only two genders in Hittite: common and neuter. So this is quite. This is politically quite correct, right? 就非常政治正确啊，就是那个男性和中性就是只有中性和共性或者通性，或者呢你也可以说这个是 animate， 就是动物性和非动物性，就是有生命的和没有生命的，就它不区分阳性和阴性，对吧？对，就是有一些人有奇怪的想法说。有情和无情啊，很好。这个果然一看就是学过佛教的那个术语。Okay, so let's just check briefly some examples. Yeah. So this is 有情和无情，很好，非常好。Okay, so this is the common gender A stem, right? So father, it's called atas. There's something, some minor detail. So we can transcribe like this. 就是我们可以转写成 这样转写成这种符号。但是呢，它的读音的话，其实就是一个嘶，你不用一定要读成翘舌。但是有一些做怎么讲呢，就是做赫题的，就不是做印欧语的，他们会读成诗，但是做印欧语的话，你就可以直接写成嘶就可以了，不一定要写成这样。这个是一个对，还有这个呵也是一样，就是有一些会下面加个弯嘛，那实际上你也可以直接写成呵，就没关系。有这个两种写法吧，其实都是对的，对。然后这种上面加了一个角的，主要是赫题语或者是两河流域研究的人会经常这样转写。然后同理，那个 h 下面加个弯也是。但是呢，印欧语言学家就直接转写成单纯的 s 和 h。对 ，OK， so let's check father and mother. So you can see they are the same ending, right? So father is atas and mother is anas, right? So you know that there's actually no distinction between even between father and mother. There's no distinction, right? Okay, so this is basically the nominal system, and we can also check how many cases. Nominative 主格 ，accusative 宾格。的确，待会儿会给你看不省心的啊。OK， 然后还有呼格vocative, right? Okay, and then genitive, of course, yeah, and dative, locative. So dative and locative, they combined. So this is E, and this E you also find in Sanskrit, all right? Okay. Dative, locative, and there's also an ablative called atas, yeah? This is a little bit special. And we also have an instrumental, t, instrumental, t, right? So basically, we have these different cases, yeah. Okay, so this is actually 对，这个就是涉及到我们上一次的讨论嘛，就是说这个通信到底是怎么来的？是两个，对啊，这个我们上次讨论了很久，那个我今天就不说了，那个出于时间的问题，因为还有其他的东西要和大家介绍。对 ，OK。是，这个是一个没有什么性别歧视的那个问题，对。Okay, so this is one important thing you need to keep in mind: two gender system. So only two gender. Yeah. Okay. And then that's point 3. There's a special case called allative case. And this is actually only attested in some forms and in some languages. You can see you don't find it here, right? There's no allative, but we can check it. Allative. We can check it in this grammar. So check it. So there's a special case called allative in Hittite. And this allative means towards, 就是朝向，你可以翻译成向格，或者是朝向格，或者是我不知道中文怎么翻译。这个意思就是大家看好英语就是这样 ，to toward into， 这个大家按照自己的中文习惯可以翻译一下，向格对吧？向格其实可以。OK， okay, so this is a special case you need to keep in mind, allative, and only attested in several languages. And but I'm not actually going to explain in greater detail, but we can check the Iliad. So probably let's move to可能今天会需要2个小时时间，然后大家如果太累的话，可以提前休息，然后可以稍后感兴趣的话可以看一下那个录屏。OK， 我检索一个东西给大家看一看。OK， so actually for the Greek text, we need to use this database. It's called Thesaurus Linguae. 一般都是2个小时。好的。Okay, so let's use this Thesaurus Linguae Glycae, and I need to check something for you. So let's check this word. 原则上是可以的，然后我稍后可以发给你，就是只要你那个不要传到那个公开的平台就可以了，就是仅供个人使用，那个仅供个人和学习使用，就不要外传就可以了。Okay, so let's check this one. That's actually in Homeric Greek. There's this expression called aludis allos, or aludis allos, aludis allos. So you can see it's kind of a very fixed expression, right? And then let's find it in with the translation. So let's use lope, right? It's you can see it's widely attested in the Homeric Greek, right? Okay, so let's check this example. So let's check this one. Yeah. So this is a sentence, and I copy it here, and I will analyze it. Yeah. So this is I think this sentence is not that complicated, right? So Troyes de dietresan aludis allos. So Troyes, plural, right? So this is plural, right? This is plural. And then esan is also plural, right? Allos. Can anyone tell me which number is allos? Allos 是单数还是复数？这个特洛伊人复数，然后这个四散分散那个复数 ，allos 是单数还是复数？你们是在思考吗？还是电脑卡了？所以这是个问题，对吧？对，这是个问题，这样是啊，这必须是单数呀，对吧？这必须是个单数，对不对？勇敢的是没关系的，那个这个不是陷阱题，我还没说陷阱题呢，陷阱题还没到呢，陷阱题待会儿会告诉你们。So this is singular, right? This is singular. Yeah. Why? Why? This is 特洛伊人复数，四散他们分散开来，那为什么要用一个单数在这里？ Okay, this is the problem, right? The reason is that this one is actually a secondary. This is actually a secondary form, and it comes actually from another older form. And what is the older form? The older form is called aludis alle. It's called aludis alle. So actually, this is the older form, and we find it also in Homeric Greek. Find it here. Yes. Yes, this one. It's called Sanides de diet mange aludis alle. So I forgot where. Uden ada office. Wait a minute. I need to find the translation. Laos hypolipes. So wait a minute. This is glorious vector. Or dashed apart this way. So this is here. Yes. So this is this sentence. and this is and by the stones falls. Yeah. Okay. So this is actually this sentence, and they actually go back to this form. So this form adudis ale goes apart this way. 好，好，现在陷阱题来了，那个大家猜一下，这个是单数还是复数？Singular， sorry，现在出现陷阱题了 ，singular or plural？ dolls。你们可以思考一下 ，OK。复数嘛，不错，有人说是复数 ，OK。还有什么其他答案吗？不知道，好 ，OK， 没事，没关系啊 ，OK，严格来讲呢，它既不是单数，也不是复数啊，所以这才是陷阱题，因为呢，这是一个副词 ，it's actually an adverb, it's not actually singular or plural. Well, you can say that it's singular, but it make no sense, right? You can say that it's singular, but it is actually an adverb, and this adverb is connected with the Latin word adia. So if we check the Latin dictionary, there's a word called adia. And what is the meaning of adia? Adia means of underweg, right? So adia means by different way, by different route. And this R is actually, sorry, I put it here. So this is Latin, adia, and it is cognate with Greek RDA. Yeah, so this is Greek RDA. So this eta and this Latin R and the all go back to PIE and this is actually the additive case. So actually towards another direction, to another direction, right? Yeah, and this additive is cognate also with the Hittite R. So this is a special case, but only preserved sporadically, not in all the languages, only in some very special forms. 对，就像有个同学说的，这个已经变成一种固定用法了。然后这种固定用法的时候，希腊人是不能理解的，因为你不可能，对吧？就看上去明显就是一个阴性单数，对不对？就是学过希腊语的朋友，所以他们就根本不能理解这个形式是什么，前面还是个复数，所以他们就在想，所以后来有什么办法呢？有人在下面加了一个 iota， 然后呢，还有人直接把它变成一个 os， 所以这个就已经是后期的。就是因为希腊人自己也看不懂这个形式，所以他们自己造出来的形式。Okay. Okay, so this is okay. So this is basically for the first part, and there are actually other special phenomena, but I'm not going to talk about them all. We can leave it to the next meeting. Yeah, and for the next part. So we make a stop and we continue with Luvian and Lydian and Lucian. So the second part, okay, 我是比较言而有信，对吧 ？Okay, so our second part. So we talk about Luvian, and we make a stop about 5 minutes. Yeah, if you need more, it's okay. Yeah, and during the stop, and I have some other questions. Yeah, 我还有2个陷阱题，然后希望大家思考一下。OK，就是休息的过程当中，大家去那个字典里面查2个词怎么样 ？OK，第一个词呢，我们来看一下，第一个词你怎么样没了 ？OK，第一个词叫那个 patara， 好，然后第2个词呢，叫那个看一下tyamu呀，好，第3个词呢叫那个kamvεin呀，对，应该就是这3个词。那个这个是休息的过程当中，大家去查一下。对，是 OK。好，那我们休息一下，然后我把那个录屏暂停。然后大家如果有什么问题的话，可以把自己的那个麦克风打开。Okay, I already started recording. So this is actually 3 questions I 没关系 Okay. So this is actually 3 different words, which yes, there's actually no. 就是你们查到的话是比较奇怪的，你们查不到的是很Kiston Caston 不错，哎，有人竟然查到了，不错。那个第一个词已经查到了，不错不错。那个这个叫那个篮子，这个实际上是叫那个basket 对吧 ？basket 德语叫那个 Kiste，非常好。那个你能查到真的很不错。那个你是在哪里查到的？那个胡文博你是在哪里查到的？那个 patara。TLG 吗？哎，不错不错。OK， so let's check TLG and to see. Okay, so let's check this dictionary. So let's check patara, right? Okay. Yes, you find it. There's some explanation, right? So patara, right? Yes. So actually, there's a dictionary called Lexicon to Byzantinische Gräzität. There's a word called patara, called kista, kasten, right? Okay, very good. Yeah. It's great that you find this word, and this word is mentioned in Herodotus, right? 希罗多德里面历史里面出现了，对不对？但是其他2个你是不是其他2个你们应该没查到，对不对 ？OK， 好，那个so how can we find this word? How can we find this word? Yeah. Well, to find these words, we need to check 一个地名，一个神名。一个地名，一个神名，哎，不错不错，非常好非常好。那个有人翻译出来了，那个说这个是地名对吧？哪个是地名，哪个是神名其实无所谓，反正你能查到也不错。OK， 好，so okay, great, yeah. So we will talk about it later, yeah. So actually, we need to use this database. It's called searchable Greek inscription, right? So the website is here, and I will send it to you. 就是我稍后会，第一个是地名 ，OK， 第3个是神名 ，OK。就我稍后会写一篇推送，然后会把我们课程今天的内容总结出来，然后包括一些重要的网址啊，还有参考书啊，还有一些语法细节啊，就是我刚才包括我刚才没讲的部分，就是像这个所谓基干动词啊，或者是那个赫梯语的 mihi conjugation 啊，或者是它的分词啊， 还有它的那个 suppletion 等等之类的，我稍后会写一篇推送，然后会给大家看一下。Okay, so we actually use this website, and then we click here, and then on the bottom we can check it. So we can check patara here, and you click search. Check it. We have this patara here, and patara you find it also in grandchild. Great, yeah, great. This is, but we will talk about later. Yeah. So this one is actually grandchild. Yeah. Grandchild. Okay. So you find it in inscription, and this inscription is in Ionian Islands. So it's still in the Anatolian area, right? Anatolian area, and this one means basket. And the second one, let's check it. What is the meaning of this one? Tιαμου. You can search. Okay. We actually have 33 in 31 texts. So this is actually a very popular word. Tιαμου. Okay. And for this one, there's something interesting. Lydia, sorry. So this word, Lydia. So you can make a guess. This word is not a Greek word. This is actually Lydian. Yeah. This is a Lydian word. And what is the meaning of this Lydian word? So let's start with this one. So this one is preserved in Lydian, and we can check some interesting example. It's called menos tιαμου, and it look like it's a genitive, right? So it look like, so menos, so this is a text, right? This is a text. So question. So now comes the question. Is tιαμου genitive? True or false? tιαμου是属格，是属格吗？屏幕严重滞后，无法回答。OK， 你可以听到我的声音吗？就是我们在这个碑铭的corpus 里面 ，so actually finding the corpus several forms, right? Menos, tιαμου, and tιαμου. There are a lot of tιαμου here, right? You find it a lot of tιαμου here, right? And according to what is the form of tιαμου? Is it the genitive? Yeah. Yes, it is false. It is not a genitive. Yeah. Because this one is a little bit misleading, right? Because in all the other forms, this is many, or mes. This is 这是一个不变词. This does not change. It is not a inflected form. It's always tιαμου. There's no change, right? Great. Okay. And then let's talk about the meaning. So how could this tιαμου mean? Uranos. What is Uranos? Means heaven, sky. Heaven. So what is the meaning of tιαμου? 你们可以猜一下吗？ Yes, great. So great. Yeah, this means earth. Yeah. Okay. If this means earth, and this is a Lydian word, and this is again a Lydian word. So this is actually an Anatolian word. for earth. So how could we analyze this tιαμου? For this word, we can actually check the Indo-European lexicon for the nouns. It's called, so let's check this dictionary called Nomina in Indo-Germanic lexicon. Wait a minute. So let's check this dictionary, and we move on to the word for earth. So this is the word for earth. Yeah. You find an interesting form, right? Check it. Yeah. K roof. So this is the word for earth. I think it's probably too big. Okay. And this word, wait a minute. 我的电脑有点卡. Okay. So this is the Indo-European word for earth. Degron. And in Hittite, it's called tekon. So so this is Proto-Indo-European. Oh, my computer is suffering from the heat. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. And then Hittite is called tekon, right? So this is Hittite, right? And then K-Luf. So what is K-Luf? It is actually Keilschrift Luwian. Keilschrift Luwisch. So actually Luwian, we have two variants. Luwian first, cuneiform. This is what we have here. And then the second one is with Luwian. And it is written as H-Luf. Yeah. And so in K-Luf, so in Keilschrift Luwian, in English, Keilschrift cuneiform Luwian, it's called tιαμου. Yeah. And then the Ludish, so in Ludian, it's called tιαμου actually, or probably tιαμου, I'm not sure, but the Greek alphabet is called tιαμου. And tιαμου actually tιαμου, yeah. So it's basically connected with this word. And this word you also find, of course, in Sanskrit, it's called sham. And also in Greek, it's called chronos. Check it. It's called chronos, so earth. Yeah. Okay, so this is basically kind of an introduction to this. And this one is called kamvειν. And let's check it. Let's again check the word in this database. Kamvειν, right? Okay. You find this again in Lydia, in so this word, this means brother, right? This is brother, and this means mother, and this actually means child. Okay, called kamvειν, and of course it is not an infinitive, and it is actually comes from this form. Kambion. It actually comes from kambion or kambion. Yeah. Okay, and this word kambi, you also find it in Hittite. So now let's come to the explanation of grammar and the books we need to use for these languages. So first, Hittite. Let's first introduce the Hittite Dictionary. So Hittite Dictionary. We already seen the Hittite Texts, right? So now let's check the Hittite Dictionary. For the Hittite Dictionary, there are several options. So first one is the so-called made by Friedrich. It's called Kurzgefasst Hessitisches Wörterbuch. I only have the I don't have the PDF file, but probably you can only have the paperback made by Friedrich, called Kurzgefasst Hethitisches Wörterbuch. Okay, look like this one. I can make it probably a little bit bigger. Sorry, I can't make it bigger, but yeah. But it's called Kurzgefasst Hethitisches Wörterbuch. Yeah, okay. And the next one, I already sent the PDF file to you. It's made by another person called Hethitisches Handwörterbuch by, I think, by Tischler or someone else. Yeah. So actually, this Wörterbuch, it's by Johann Tischler, called Hethitisches Handwörterbuch. So actually, in Hittite Dictionary, so this one, I don't write the name again. You can, I hope you can memorize this. Yeah, okay. So actually, inside the Hittite Dictionary, you already have three parts. Normally, you only have three parts. The first part is Hittite words. So three parts. The first part is Hittite words. The second part called ideogram, and it is actually Sumerian. And the third one is called Akkadian Dictionary. So this is basically the structure. So you can check it here. This is the Hittite part. And in Hittite, there's a word called kapi. Kapi. And kapi means small, klein. So in Hittite, there's a word called kapi. Klein, yeah. Yeah. And this kapi is actually cognate with Sogdian. There's a Sogdian word called kamban. I can probably write it here. Sorry. It's actually a. Wait a minute. You're welcome. Yeah, you're welcome. So actually, in Sogdian, there's such a word. It also means little or small, something like that. And we also, so this is kind of a word you find also in Iranian, like in Avestan, also finding in Avestan, but I forgot probably something like, I forgot the exact form, but the Sogdian, we have this form called little or small. And in Hittite, it's called kampi. And in Lydian, we called kambion. Yeah. Yeah, so this is actually the word for small and small child. Okay. Okay, so you find it in the Hittite Dictionary. It's called kampi, right? And the second part is called ideogram. This is for a Sumerian word. Okay, and then let's move back to the text. We have just wait a minute. So let's move back to this text. So I think you still remember this part, right? So Anita is actually Hittite. Make it a little bit bigger. So Anita is actually Hittite, and Dumu is actually Sumerian. So for this word Dumu, you certainly can find it here. So this is ideogram. You go back, you go to the part for D. Yeah, okay. So you find it, Dumu, called son and child, Zon and Kinder, and it corresponds to Hittite Pura. Okay, so Dumu is Sumerian, and you find in the second part, ideogram. And for the Sumerian, actually you can use, wait a minute. So for the Sumerian, actually there's an online dictionary called, how can I do this? Wait a minute. How to, I'm not sure how can we move back to the front page. Okay. Okay, so this is basically the online Sumerian dictionary. I'll make it a little bit bigger. So this is the online Sumerian dictionary, right? Yeah, EPSD, right? Yeah. Okay. So EPSD, and you can search at the bottom. Yeah. So you put DM here, Dumu, and you click, and then here comes the Dumu. Yeah, so it's pretty easy to use. And you click Dumu, and you also find the cuneiform form, right? So it's Dumu and its child son, right? Okay. And then let's go back to the dictionary. The third part is Akkadische Wörter, Akkadian words. And then let's move. This is the third part, this Akkadian word. And in this text, this one is written as capital italic. 这个是大写斜体，大写斜体的话，表示这个是那个阿卡德语，就是正常的大写就不斜体的话，表示这个是苏美尔语。所以我们可以再检索一下这个 Luga. So actually we can search this Luga. So simple. So just the capital letters, they are Sumerian, but capital italic, it's Akkadian. The Luga, we can also check it. You find it here, Luga, right? Yes, you find it. Luga actually means king, right? Luga means king, and you find the cuneiform. Yeah, okay. Okay, and then for Ki Bi Ma, let's check the Akkadian dictionary. So Akkadian dictionary, we need to move to check it. Wait a minute. Okay, yeah, you find it. Kibi, right? Kibi Ma. It means speak. Yeah. Okay, and then you can also check the form in another online dictionary. It's called Aryan language. I think this is you can. Sorry, this is a Akkadian dictionary, and we can check called kabu, right? Kabu. Kabu. So this is kabu. This is Akkadian word, and you find the cuneiform, and it means speak, to promise, right? Okay. This is this is how we can read the Hittite text. This is a dictionary, right? But this is just a simple version, and there are actually several other dictionaries we can use. This one, wait a minute. So this Hittite Etymological Dictionary called about 3,300 pages. It's by Johann Tischler, Hethitisches Etymologisches Glossar, mit Beiträge von Günther Neumann. And we can also check the form kapi here. So kapi means small, right? And you have also etymological analysis. Wait a minute. Yes, you have the Avestan form. It's called kamna. Kamna, also small, and also your Sogdian form here. It's called kabam. Also New Persian. It's Persian. It's called kam. Weniger gehin. Okay, so this is basically the Hittite Etymological Dictionary. There's actually another Hittite Etymological Dictionary called Hittite. It's just called Hittite Etymological Dictionary, written in English. So if you prefer English, you can use this one, Hittite Etymological Dictionary. Yes. So this is actually and another thing. There's actually a bigger Hittite dictionary. It's called. It's made by Friedrich and Kammerhuber. Wait a minute. 是我要慢一点吗？等一下啊。It's this one, it's called Hethitisches Wörterbuch, made by 我的电脑有点卡吗？需要我停一下吗？正常吗 ？Okay. So this is actually the how to say that the most comprehensive Hittite dictionary now. It's called Hethitisches Wörterbuch, made by Friedrich and Kammerhuber, and it is actually a cooperation. 有可能是网速的问题，对我这边切换对 ，OK， 就这个字典还没编完，然后呢，这个事实上是和芝加哥大学他们那个Oriental Institute 合作的。So this is actually a cooperation project, with the Oriental Institute in Chicago. Okay, so so a kind of distribution of the task. So some letters are assigned to this project, and this project is actually located in Munich. So if you can. 就是事实上，所以如果你想学两河流域啊，或者是赫梯的话，来慕尼黑也是非常好的，因为慕尼黑大学是负责编这个字典的。Okay, so it's called Hethitisches Wörterbuch. Yes, so this is a project in Munich, in the University of Munich, so in the Department for Archaeology and Hittitology. it's not finished. The last part is letter K. I think it's another 3 or 4 years, and it can be finished. Yeah. Okay. And the part by Chicago is called Chicago Hittite Dictionary. So it's actually in English, right? And this one is in German. Okay. Okay. So this is basically the dictionaries for Hittite. Okay. And then let's talk about grammar. So grammar for Hittite. So after this, we can stop today. So for the grammar, they actually well 排名不分先后，那个我先写一个。So the first one is called Mythology. It's written in French. So if you prefer French, you can use this book. And the second one is made by Friedrich. This is a classical one, but a little bit out. It's a little bit old. And there's actually another one by Elizabeth Ricken. It's also, so this is in German. This is also in German. Yeah. And the fourth one is made by Craig Metchard. Craig Metchard and Hoffner. So the last one we have already seen. Let's find a book for you. So this is actually the book by called A Grammar of the Hittite Language. It contains 2 volumes. First volume is grammar. The second volume is, I think, for workbook. You can do some exercises here. And pay attention here. At the very beginning, 3 giants of Heterology, and these are really giants. They are really the most important figures. Yeah, Hans Gustav Gutenberg, Emmanuel Laroche, Heinrich Otten. So he's, I think he's French, or I think he's French. Yeah, and Gutenberg and Otten, they are German. Yeah, okay. So this is a book. This is a grammar in English, and then there's another grammar called Mythology. This is what we have already seen for the Sturtevant law, right? So it looked like this: Mythology, Manuel de langue Edith. So Mythology is actually the Hittite word for their language, their own language. Yeah. Okay. Okay, and then Friedrich is this one. So Friedrich is actually a typical German grammar, just like other Elementarbuch, like Tokaran, Toharische Elementarbuch. So by Johannes Friedrich grammar. So it's actually, so there are some very useful tables and charts, and you can check the flexion, yeah, and so on. Yeah. Okay, and the last one is by Elizabeth Ricken. It's a pretty new book. It's published in 2011, like this one. Einführung in die hethitische Sprache und Schrift. And actually, inside this series, Lehrbücher orientalische Sprache, there are actually other books. So you can find, if you are interested, you can check their website. So there are actually other books, like you have the Aramaic and also Hebrew, and also Egyptian Aramaic, and so on. So this is actually an important series. Okay. Okay, so this is basic for today, everything for today, and I'm not sure when will be our next Hittite class. But I hope you find something interesting and useful from this class. OK， 非常感谢大家能够一直听到现在。今天的课要不就到此结束时间也差不多了。然后后续的话，我们可以继续学习一下它的语法啊，然后还可以看一看文本。OK， 好吧 ？OK， 不客气谢谢大家。OK， thank you， thank you， you're welcome， yeah， and probably, yeah. See you next time. Yeah, and thank you for your attention and thank you for your interest. Yeah. OK， OK， 那我还是会把那个视频传到网上，然后大家如果有兴趣的话，还可以再看一看那个回放啊什么之类的。OK， 没事没事。OK， 好，再见那大家再见拜拜。不客气，拜拜。